Hello friends, welcome to another chapter of Page Snap. This story is taken from Osho's book, The Book of Wisdom. In a faraway kingdom, a wise king would roam his city every night, ensuring that everything was in order. But every evening, he was amazed to see a young man, always sitting under the same tree in deep silence, as if he were detached from the world. His stillness intrigued the king more and more, until one night, his curiosity reached its peak. The king approached the young man and said, "Young man, forgive me for disturbing your meditation." The young man smiled and replied, "Your Majesty, there is no need for an apology. I am not meditating, I am meditation itself. No one can disturb me." The king, impressed by the young man's response, expressed his desire to know more. He said, "I want you to come to my palace. There is no need for you to sit under this tree. Your peace, your demeanor, and your undisturbed nature remind me of the ancient stories of Buddha. I am deeply impressed by your serenity. I invite you to be my guest at the palace." However, as soon as the king extended the invitation, doubt arose in his mind. Somewhere deep down, the king wondered, would a true saint accept such an invitation? A part of him hoped that the young man would refuse, proving that he was detached from worldly pleasures. To the king's surprise, the young man stood up immediately and simply said, "I am coming." This response left the king astonished. "What have I done?" he thought. "This man is still interested in the luxuries of the palace. Is he really a saint?" But the king could not take back his word now. He decided to take the young man to the palace, though his reverence for the saint had diminished. At the palace, the young man was given the finest accommodations, surrounded by servants, and offered all the luxuries of the palace. With every acceptance, the king's doubts grew deeper. What kind of saint is this? The king wondered. He accepts a luxurious bed, the finest food. Perhaps he has deceived me. 6 months passed in this way, and the king's discomfort reached its peak. One morning, while walking with the young man in the palace gardens, the king finally voiced his concern. He said, "I have a question that has been troubling me. You and I live in the same palace, enjoying the same luxuries. What is the difference between us?" The young man, who had anticipated this question, calmly replied, "Your Majesty, I knew you would ask this question one day, but the answer cannot be given here. We must go beyond the boundaries of your kingdom." Reluctantly, the king agreed, and they both crossed the river that marked the kingdom's boundary. Once on the other side, the young man pointed towards the horizon and said, "I am going further. Will you come with me?" The king replied, "How can I? I have a palace, a kingdom, a family. I have many responsibilities." The young man nodded and said, "That is the difference, Your Majesty. I have no palace, no responsibilities. I was just as content under the tree as I have been in the palace. My peace does not depend on where I am or what I have, but you are bound by your responsibilities and possessions." Hearing this, the king felt deep shame. He bowed his head and said, "Forgive me, I have misunderstood you." The young man, with compassion, replied, "Your Majesty, there is no need to feel ashamed. Wisdom comes from such realizations. But now I must continue on my journey. If I return with you, you will begin to doubt me again. So let me go. True contentment comes from within, unaffected by the external world." The young man walked away, and the king stood there, reflecting on the lesson he had learned. If you are truly happy and content, no one can disturb your inner peace. True freedom lies within, beyond the grasp of material possessions and worldly concerns. If you found this video useful, please like it and subscribe to the channel so you can watch more informative stories. Your little support and love greatly encourage us to create more intellectual and inspiring content. Let us know what you think in the comments. Thank you, and we'll meet again in the next video.